All right, welcome back. You're tuned into Radio Karma. Join the caravan. I've been promising you that the 6 o'clock hour is going to be Sports Roundup, and who better to join me than our handy-dandy sports analyst. He is the guru when it comes to sports, whether it's cricket, football, basketball. He watches everything. He knows about everything. Here we go with the show here. Sushil, welcome to the show and a very good evening. Happy Friday, my friend.
Happy Friday, Vaibhav. Good evening to you. And you were right. I watch everything and I have 26 hours in the day.
No, but all jokes apart, I think, you know, the amount of passion you have for sports is commendable. And you know, a lot of people, like for me, music is something that is a stress buster for me.
Yeah.
Sports, I feel, is your go-to,
is that for me? Correct.
Thing, right?
Correct. I enjoy it. I know you do as well, but I absolutely enjoy it. And what have we witnessed?
Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness.
And we were, last week, right at about this time, we were like, hey, next Friday when we see each other, hopefully it's... And we were more leaning towards a possible draw, and that we would have been happy with that. But the way India played, and forget the win and the loss, just the way they played and showed character was just amazing.
Incredible. I think what we have witnessed, just to set the context, right? No team has won at Gaba in Brisbane for 33 years. It's supposed to be Australia's fortress. Their A team against... No disrespect, but our B team, right? We had our starting...
I would call it a C team.
C team. Our fast bowlers had combined 4 test matches between them and 13 wickets. So, by the way, 13 made, there were 2 of them were Rohit Sharma's. So, they had 11 wickets between them. Incredible grit, determination, self-belief, and just, I thought, the masterful way of setting up the chase.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of chatter about which we... in India tend to do is the recency bias, right? It's not just Indians, but everybody these days has recency bias, and now everybody is talking about, oh, this is Rahane should be the captain, not Kohli. But if you think about this is Kohli's mentality of setting up a chase. Nobody sets up a chase better than Dhoni, and then after that Kohli. And I thought Rahane and team did I watched the entire game. I'm sure a lot of us did till 2:30 in the morning, but just fabulous in how they structured it with Rohit becoming, you know, the idea was if Rohit stays till lunch, we are in for a shot.
Right.
And guess what happens? Rohit is gone in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Shubman Gill, the way he played, and we should talk about, I know we have time today, we should talk about each one of these guys. It is just incredible. Their story is incredible.
Let's do that. And let's begin with Gill. I think he really set this up for India. In a way, where if his 90 plus runs, whatever he scored, 91,
correct.
Right. I think that was just... It gave India a ray of hope that, hey, this can be achieved. And mind you, this is his, second test match?
Yeah.
Or first test series?
Third test match, correct.
And third test match.
Third test match, absolutely.
Incredible.
Incredible patience, incredible. I mean, you see the guy is built for, you know, there was a talk before even he came that he is the next superstar. And you can see it, the amount of patience. And this is the three of the between Hazelwood, Stark, and Cummins. They have 1,100 test wickets. They were going at him with Rohit gone, and you know Pujara will not score. We'll talk about Pujara. To me, he's probably one of the most important person in the team.
Yeah.
But you also know that when you're down 1 wicket, you know Pujara is not scoring. He's blocking. So he had the onus of playing safe, Gill, and also scoring. I thought it was such a masterful. I know that. You'll talk about Pant because he got you across the finish line. Absolutely. But who set it up, like you said, was Gill. I thought his innings was flawless. I don't think there was one chance that he gave. Pant had a stumping missed by Payne, but Shubman Gill's innings was class. It was class and it was just flawless.
And I would like to draw a comparison when we talk about Shubman Gill here. You know, if we talk about the 2011 World Cup final between India and Sri Lanka, everybody talks about that last 6 that Dhoni hit. And that's everywhere, right? But very few people would talk about Gambhir's performance.
Great analogy. 97, and nobody talks about, or very few is the right term, nobody talks about what Gambhir did when, by the way, Dhoni didn't come when we lost Sehwag in the early overs, right? And then Sachin, and we were down. Gambhir was the one who... Absolutely right. So I agree with you. I thought Gill was flawed. One thing that I saw, Vaibhav, in this, we can talk about bench strength and all that. India has the best, but what I saw was this attitude about I will play my game, right? No matter the situation, I will play my game. And just this fearlessness of, I'll give you a small example. It was the last over before lunch. Stark is bowling, right? And the common sense would say, block it out, go to lunch, come back.
Correct.
What does Gill do? He gets the ball outside of off stump, and it was hittable, but it was a bouncer, and he slashes it for a 6.
Right.
When you have 4 balls left to go to lunch, and then that's fine. Okay, great shot. He gets another ball right on his body, a bouncer. He hooks it. It lands in a no-man land. It could have been caught, but he did it because I think he did it because he thinks he can.
Cricketing instinct, right?
He can. It's just he did not curb his natural game. That to me, it just, people don't realize that, but that's what brings that fearlessness. Rishabh Pant, he knows that he knows that he can block. He knows because he knows I can take the game deep. And you know what? I can get 20 runs in an over because I do it in IPL. I can do it here. That to me was the most mind-boggling thing of how everybody played their own game except Rahane. I thought Rahane was a key in that. When Rahane came out, that was not his game.
Right.
But his quick fire 22 on scoreboard, it doesn't mean anything. But he and Pujara put on 39 runs. 39 runs in about 45-50 balls. That set up the tone. So I thought it was incredible how they each played their own game.
And to your point, if you remember last Test match where people were complaining that Pant did not score his century, he was out on 97.
Yeah, we talked about that.
And again, I would say the same thing. He could have easily made that century by just scoring onesie, twosies here and there, but he played his natural game.
But people forget when you say, oh, he should have, that was reckless. No, that was what got him to 97. At that time, nobody complained. We all said, oh, my God, look at how he's playing.
Right.
But that shot, he did what he thought he could make it. That's the piece that this level of, arrogance, but in a way assured arrogance is amazing. These guys believe. Look at Washington Sundar, first Test match, right? Debut. And then he's on 22. He played he hit Cummins for a 6, right? And then he is trying to reverse sweep Nathan Lyon.
He got bowled, yeah.
He got bowled, but just the audacity of saying, you know what, I can do it. I think that sends a message. You saw Australia was rattled, Vaibhav. I have never seen these guys. They were completely rattled.
And also to the point where I also want to kind of bring this question to you. Do you think India performed this way because they were the underdogs in this series, and a lot of people had already written them off even before the series started, including us.
Oh yeah. We may not have said 4-0, but we definitely said 2-1 Australia, or Australia is winning the series. I agree. I think there's a lot of that, Vaibhav. I think that's why in my mind, and I think all the analysts are saying, this is the best series ever in cricket, in Test cricket, because of turning around from 36 and having the self-belief to come back. And honestly, at Gaba, outside in, people thought they had no shot, right? I mean, nobody has won there nobody has won there for 33 years, right?
Yeah.
And I think these guys believe that they can do it. And then I think there was also this idea of when you lose somebody as great as Virat in terms of batting, we'll leave the captainship aside, batting, then everybody steps up. You saw this collective. Remember that, the analogy I'll give you is, remember that basketball analogy when Detroit Pistons, when they were going against the Lakers, when it was Kobe, Shaq, and they got Karl Malone and Gary Payton to join them.
Right.
And they were in the finals with the Detroit team that had Chauncey Billups and a couple of guys who were basically, they were not superstars, but they beat Lakers in the final because they played as a team. These guys, I thought everybody played as a team. They punched about their weight. And I thought everybody thought that they had to take on more. Like Ashwin was part of the leadership team.
Right.
You thought that leadership group, if I talk pure leadership, Virat is excellent player. But I think Virat has to learn from this. I'm sure he will, because he was sitting on the sidelines. And now you see how Rahane was more of a, style of leadership was very different, right? It was not a top-down command.
He was
more
facilitator.
Exactly. And he brought, Ashwin, I need your opinion. Rohit, I need your opinion. I don't know if Virat does that, but it doesn't look like he does.
Right. Let's talk about other players as well. I think you brought his name up, and which was Pujara. I feel this whole Test series. Let's not talk about scores here, but what he did on the field, just to face 100+ balls on the field, taking so many hits.
Yeah.
I mean, mind you, he was probably hit every part of his body.
Yeah. I have not seen anything like that.
Yeah, and still having that same patience, not getting angry, and still kind of playing his own game is
Yeah.
just fabulous.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think he played around, the stat was about 1,000 balls overall in this test series. I mean, and in that last match, I thought I've never seen anything like that. He got hit like so many times, and these were vicious blows. But I thought that guy, Vaibhav, is the one player, I think, in the whole world that puts such a big price on his wicket that he will not give you his wicket. It was very easy. If there was anybody else in his place, they would have had this, get out of jail shot, right? That I'm frustrated. I just got hit multiple times. I'm going to try and hit out. But he makes you earn his wicket. I have so much respect for that guy, the way he battled. And you know what? That sends a message in the dressing room that it's no big deal, right? If he's doing it, we can too. And it's not that he was shaken. I mean, he was shaken, but you could see his face. It was not that he was lying on the ground.
Exactly.
It was like, I'm taking it like a warrior, right? Except the one ball that hit his hand, which he shook it off. That one you knew. But other than that, he got hit on the back of his helmet twice. Concussion protocol was checked. But he didn't flinch at all. I thought that was just
more
incredible.
Than that, it's the attitude for which he bats, really. I mean, if it was any other player who got hit so many times, they would have lost their cool. And
Absolutely,
and probably,
they would have hit out.
They probably would have played a crazy shot and got out.
Absolutely.
And
that's why I think he pays so much. His wicket is so precious, then he won't give you that. And honestly, I know we'll talk about Pant innings, which we should, but what set it up was he tired the bowlers. He held one end up that they got so frustrated. This short ball, I think Australia, I know we're talking India, but Australia, their bowling and the way their tactics was it left a lot to be desired. The short ball strategy was not working.
Huge disappointment for me for the last innings for Australia was Nathan Lyon.
Nathan Lyon. He's been a disappointment all series. But, I mean, look at how much the ball was turning with the cracks. I think what got to Australia, in my opinion, is this idea that the cracks are opening up and they just wanted to hit the crack all the time.
Right.
And they lost track of the fact. You saw Stark was bowling around the wicket and it's not his line. You will never get a batsman out. Maybe not never, but it's hard to get a batsman out with short ball. What you do is you make the batsman, you do the short ball, he'll go back, then you ball a full delivery that they go in the front to play. That's when you get them. They never ball those balls.
You have to bowl a delivery that kind of tests both edges of the batsman's bat.
Absolutely.
And if you don't do that, you have to make the batsman think whether to play the shot or not to play the shot.
And they didn't do. Pat Cummins is exceptional. He's clearly the best test bowler, and you could see he was the only guy who would do that. And also another thing is, you see Pat Cummins' record, right? He's exceptional, but he's great against right-handed batsmen. Look at his record against left-handed. You look at even this test series when Sundar played really well against him, Jadeja played really well against him, and so did Pant. So I think he was the best bowler, and they got negated.
When we come back after a short commercial break, we are obviously extensively going to talk about Rishabh Pant, because I think he definitely deserves this. He's had a lot of criticism coming his way over the years, and I feel he definitely deserves to be talked about.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're going to be right back for you guys, so keep listening to Radio Karma. Join the caravan. All right, welcome back. You're tuned into Radio Karma. Join the caravan. We are in the middle of our sports roundup here. We have our handy-dandy sports analyst, Sushil, in the house with us right now, talking all things sports. And, of course, the big thing to talk about is cricket right now. We'll get to NFL as well. It's very important we get to the football games as well. But let's talk about Rishabh Pant. I mean, and this all started, I feel, from the last test match. He really came of his own. That 97 that he scored, I think, gave him a lot of confidence and gave him a lot of praise, of course. And he kind of found his sweet spot. Hey, we can do this. And maybe he's great at that number 4, number 5 position in test matches. And maybe he has solidified that place for him now.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, that 97 really gave him that confidence. But if you think about it, Rishabh Pant is 23-year-old. And he has probably gone through so much, criticism. He has taken so much criticism for his style of play. He's been in and out. I remember last year, Ravi Shastri said, or maybe it was 19, when he said that Rishabh Pant is our preferred keeper in all 3 formats. And in 2020, he was out of all three formats. He doesn't play T20, he doesn't play one days, and he's not the first choice for Test. Think about this, a 23-year-old guy who's been told that he comes from a humble beginning. He's been told that you are the guy for all three formats, and within 6 months, he's out of the scene in all three formats. It's just, again, I'm not saying that it was not his doing, because he did play rash shots. I mean, he does play those shots, especially in T20 and one day, where you scratch your head of why. But you cannot deny that somebody who has scored multiple centuries in Australia in Test, he's exceptional talent. And you're right, the amount of confidence that 97 gave him, and the way the 97 was great. 97 was the way Rishabh Pant plays. But this 89 is a game changer, because he played this. There were times when all of us were probably thinking, why is he blocking? Why is he not taking a single, right? We are going for the win. But this idea of Dhoni-esque, right? I'll take the game deep and I know I can do it.
Right.
I thought he matured in this innings because he did not play a rash shot. He knew that he can hit Lion, except that one stumping. I thought it was the innings of his lifetime, and he said that too. I think this is an innings that will change how he approaches cricket. And right now, I hope Indian management doesn't do that. He should be, no more Ridhiman Saha. I know Saha is the best wicketkeeper in the world, probably the best in India for sure. But you need to play Rishabh Pant. You absolutely need to play Rishabh Pant, and you need to make sure he goes and works on his keeping, because he needs to work on his wicket keeping.
Hey, listen to me. If I get an above-average wicket-keeper with such a fabulous, all-rounding skills of a nice... I mean, he's a nice fielder as well. If he doesn't wicket-keep, I think he's a great fielder as well. And the way he bats.
He's a pure batsman. He played as a batsman.
Pure batsman.
He played as a batsman. I mean, you see even now, I know he played as a wicketkeeper, but when Saha was playing, you can pick him as a batsman. But I would pick him as a wicketkeeper. I mean, he has a shot of becoming like Adam Gilchrist.
Yeah.
He truly has a shot of becoming like Adam Gilchrist. Now, when Dhoni came, and if you remember, Dhoni was an unconventional keeper. But he was not, he learned, but he's the best keeper in the world. But he has a chance. Rishabh Pant needs to work on. I mean, there's all glory coming to him. He deserves everything. But he needs to improve his keeping, so there's no doubt. Even we talk about T20 and one day, which are coming up in England. KL Rahul will be your choice, because India decided KL Rahul is my wicketkeeper batsman. But I don't know how at this time you leave Rishabh Pant out of your playing 11 in T20 and one day, even if you play him as a batsman. Don't play him as a wicketkeeper until he improves, but you have to play Rishabh Pant.
And then that number 4, number 5 position is up for grabs for him. If he performs well in the next series, I think he can definitely do wonders.
Yeah. No, I thought he was exceptional. He was, and they should now is when the tough part starts, right? Indian management, Kohli and Shastri, if there's one knock, that they have rotated players way too much. They don't stick with players. They don't give them a run. Now is the time to actually give Shubman Gill and Rishabh Pant a run.
Yeah, and even if that means losing a few games.
Even if that means losing a few games, even if that means that tomorrow, and this is us too, an analyst and media, Rishabh Pant will have a day when you will scratch your head and say, why did he do that, right? He will have 4 bad innings, but don't let him go. Persist with him, because that's what Dhoni did with Virat.
I was just about to say that. I think Dhoni is a perfect example and a perfect captain to do that with Raina.
With Raina,
Kohli,
Jadeja, he did that, and that's what I think Virat needs to think now, is that Rishabh, you give Rishabh that run. Now Shubman Gill, I mean, absolutely a test player for sure. I think he plays one day too. I won't play him in T20s personally, because I don't think you should spoil his game by playing in T20. He's such a classy batsman. I would play him in test for sure, and I would give him a shot in one day too, but I don't think he should be T20, because T20 is going to mess up his game.
All right, so all things great, of course, happening with cricket here. And let's kind of switch some gears and talk about football. Before we do that, let's go ahead and see if we have a caller here. Radio Karma, you're on the air.
I was just wondering whether you can talk about... Thanks for taking my call, first of all.
Not a problem at all.
Yeah. Just can you talk about that Cheteshwar Pujara's, what should we do about him, continue, discontinue? What are your opinions about it?
In my personal opinion, for Test cricket, he should definitely stay. and he basically gives you that foundation and that fundamental, batting when it comes to not scoring as much, but giving you that space where other players can bat the way they did. And Sushil, I'd like your take on it.
Great question. We were talking about Cheteshwar Pujara. I would agree. He is, in my opinion, the foundation of Indian batting. And you saw in this series, I know we'll talk about Rishabh Pant and, Rahane's century, but the person who actually stuck there and told the Australian bowlers that they cannot get him out and people played around him is Cheteshwar Pujara. And now can he improve? Absolutely. I think one thing that Pujara should probably do is try and rotate strike a little bit more, especially earlier in his innings. Nobody's expecting him to hit fours every time because that's not his game. But he should probably rotate strike a little bit. But I think he is your mainstay and he should be part of your test match team for at least till he wants to play.
Thank you so much. I was just thinking that, he kept the wicket on one side at least.
Exactly.
It keeps other players motivated to hit,
Absolutely. I mean, think about this. If he was not, we lost Rohit, and if Pujara would have tried to do something and we would have lost Pujara too, I believe this match would have been over by lunch or by tea because he plays the way he plays. He kept one end occupied. That let others do what they had to do because everybody played their natural game. That's what we were just talking, Vaibhav and I. And Pujara's natural game is this, and I think we should not try to change who he is and let him play his natural game and people play around him.
Thank you.
Thank you for the call.
Thank you for the call. Great question, by the way. And let's jump to NFL real quick. We have a few minutes left, let's kind of hear your take on last weekend. I'm not too happy with it, but
what part are you not happy with? Tampa winning or with?
You make a guess.
Let me see. Which one are you not happy about? Your Packers won. I guess your pick didn't work out.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think you picked the Ravens, right?
I did pick the Ravens, and I really wanted the Ravens to win. But
you have to give Bills credit. They played an exceptional game. Now Lamar going out clearly had a part to play, but I don't want to take anything away from the Bills because even while Lamar was there for 3 quarters, they only scored 3 points, right? So I thought Bills were exceptional. I thought your Packers were.
And I am happy about the fact that I did pick the Buccaneers. And
you did pick the Bucks, and that was one I was actually thinking the Saints. But oh my God, did Breeze look old?
You think he should retire now?
I think he's retiring. I've never heard him say. Every year he talks about this, but then every year he's very clear about coming back. This year, for the first time, I've heard him say that he would. He's the first ballot Hall of Famer. This was not his best game by any means, but. This was not a good game. This was not a pretty game. And
what about Tom Brady, though? I know you don't like him, but
you're right.
You
have to admire what he did. But you know what? I'm gonna just that you said I don't like him. But think about it. This was one of those Brady wins like he had in New England in his beginning of his career, where the defense carries you and Brady does his part. Now he didn't turn the ball over, but if you have the embarrassment of riches that he does with. Gronk, with Mike Evans, with Godwin, with Antonio Brown, right? I can't even think of Leonard Fournette. He's supposed to win, but no, he played a good game. He hit the ball. There was no picks. He held the game really well. But this was a game I would call of a game manager because the defense. He didn't have to. Brady can throw 300 yards and give you 4 touchdowns, and he may do that again. But he didn't have to do much because the defense. There were 2 pick sixes. Or close to pick sixes by the defense.
That's what separates, great players from fantastic players. And Brady has this ability of making it seem very effortless.
Yeah.
And also switching gears to kind of where he has to be that aggressor and where he just needs to do his thing.
Yeah. No, greatest of all time, I think that debate was put to rest, even though it was hard for me to admit it. But greatest of all time, there's no doubt. I think he's crossed Montana, and he might get one more ring, who knows. But Packers may have something to say about that. I think.
Oh, absolutely. I think the Packers are going to the Super Bowl. I
have a feeling that Packers are going to win too. And before we round out the division round, what about the Browns and the Chiefs?
Oh, man. What a game. Yeah.
I know Mahomes went out, but that 15-yard run by Chad Henne, whatever money he's getting paid as a backup, that 15-yard run he earned his paycheck, and he gave Mahomes life. And the latest news is he's still in concussion protocol, but he's feeling good, and he's going to play. He's going to play.
Yeah, and you know what? I think we picked this battle about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think I still stand by it. It's going to be the Chiefs and the Packers.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see Chiefs and the Packers. Bills may have something to say about that, but if Mahomes is healthy, Bills are a really, really good team, and Josh Allen is playing exceptional. But it's been I think Mahomes and Chiefs, but you cannot take anything away from Bills. They've been such a great story. Stephon Diggs is just amazing what he's doing. The defense played solid. Both these games, Packers and Bucks, will be amazing. Chiefs and Bills will be amazing. I'm so glad Mahomes. I'm hoping. I don't think we have heard the news. Mahomes is playing.
More than the Super Bowl weekend, I think this next weekend is just the most amazing.
Yeah, this coming weekend is the money games. And then I just heard the news that Antonio Brown is out.
Oh no,
he's injured and he's out. But back to my point of embarrassment of riches, right? I mean, he has enough. Brady has enough. I think it's going to be. To me, the key would be with the Packers is their defense is underrated. They played exceptional against the Rams. And I think if they can find a way to rush Brady with front four, then you can trouble him. And Rodgers, he's playing on a different planet right now. He's absolutely at a different level. They will find ways to get Devontae Adams the ball. And they need to get Aaron Jones running the ball as well, even though Bucks have a really good run defense. But they need to soften the defense a little bit so that Rodgers can throw.
All right, so we have only a couple of minutes left, so I'd like to ask you if you had to pick an upset for this weekend, if there is going to be an upset, what would it be?
If I have to pick an upset, I would pick the Bucks beating the Packers. I know you don't like it, but that's what I would pick, only because of the championship pedigree, right, with Brady. And this is where he starts smelling blood, right? Mm-hmm. He's so close to another Super Bowl, another ring, 7th ring if he wins this year. So that's my only. If I smell an upset, it could be the Bucks. Now, can the Bills upset? Absolutely. But with a healthy Mahomes, if he's healthy, I just think Kansas City is going to beat the Bills. But at this time, I would pick the favorites. I think Packers and Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
I would pick the same, but as an upset, I would definitely see if the Bills can win this. It'll be a bigger upset, in my opinion.
Yeah, if the Bills can beat the Chiefs, it will be a bigger upset because Bucks, I mean, with everything I said, right, Brady and championships and a really, really good team, you would think that they I don't know the line, but I don't think Packers will be favored by much. They're probably favored, but I don't think they're favored by much. But I agree with you. Bills will be a bigger upset, but it's going to be fun to watch. It's absolutely going to be fun. I'm just so excited. I know we didn't think NFL would come this far, so I'm so excited it did.
Whoever reaches the Super Bowl, I think it's going to be just fantastic because both teams would deserve to be there.
To be there, absolutely. With all the injuries and all the COVID, things. So yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm super excited.
Same here, and it was a pleasure talking to you. These 45 minutes or so, they just really
go by fast.
They go by real fast. So I'm really glad that you showed up here, and we talked a lot of sports here. When we come back next week, we'll talk, of course, more football, more basketball, and, of course, a little bit of cricket here and there as well. But thank you. Thank you, Sushil, for stopping by.
Thank you, Vaibhav. Have a great weekend.
All right, welcome back. You're tuned into Radio Karma. Join the caravan. I've been